Good day everyone and welcome to Reading and Writing Skills Week 2. Today's lesson is all about the techniques of selecting and organizing information. At the end of our lesson, you should be able to accomplish the following objectives. First is to distinguish between and among techniques in selecting and organizing information. Second, construct narrative essay from various references following the techniques in selecting and organizing information. And third, shares the importance of applying the techniques in selecting and organizing information in a writing tasks. Here are the 4 techniques of selecting and organizing information. We have brainstorming list, graphic organizer, topic outline, and sentence outline. And for you to learn more about the following techniques, we will discuss them one by one. First technique in selecting and organizing information, we have brainstorming list. Brainstorming is an informal way of generating topics to write about or points to make about your topic. It is an individual or sometimes group activity. Using this technique, efforts are made to make a solution to a particular problem. Ideas are gathered and listed from the input of every member. And there are 5 kinds of brainstorming list. The first kind of brainstorming list is none other than what we call idea list. Here, it simply involves listing ideas about a particular topic, wherein it helps you to find the main idea and supporting details. It is appropriate to textual people or for those people who are more comfortable in processing words than visuals. And it simply requires you to write the main topic and then write down all the related concepts below it. Here is the example of what we call idea list. You are simply going to jot down all the possible terms that emerge from the general topic you are working on. And this procedure works especially well if you work in a team. All team members can generate or share their ideas with one member acting as a scribe. And do not worry about editing or throwing out what might not be a good idea. Simply here, you're just going to write down as many as possibilities as you can. After that, you are now ready to group the items that you have listed according to the arrangements that make sense to you. And you need to check as well if the following things are thematically related. Right after that, you are now ready to give each group a label. Now you have a narrower topic with possible points of development. After that, I can say that you are now ready to write a sentence about the label that you have given as a group of ideas. And that is how we do the idea list, how we create idea list. The second kind of brainstorming list is what we call idea map. It is also called webbing or clustering. It is a visual representation of ideas and their connections with one another, wherein it is more structured and is able to show how one idea subordinates with another idea. This is an example of what we call idea maps. But the question is, why do we need to use this kind of brainstorming list? The reason behind of it, when we deal with, let's say, complex information or complicated information or topic, it can be difficult to put into words what you're trying to convey right away. So with the idea maps, your entire thought process is laid out with a series of interconnected ideas. And this not only increases organization and memory, but it makes collaboration much easier because everything is represented visually. You are well guided through the use of this representation. Once again, this is what we call idea map. The third kind of brainstorming list is what we call cubing. Here, it is an idea examined from 6 distinct viewpoints, and actually it is derived from the physical appearance of Rubik's Cube. Since I have mentioned that there are 6 distinct viewpoints, these are the things that you need to figure out. The first thing is that you need to describe what is your topic. Second, you need to compare and contrast, determine what is it like or unlike. Third is think of the other things on how are you going to associate that particular topic with another topic. What does it remind you of? Okay? And fourth, we have analyze it. First, you need to determine the following parts by simply giving a good analysis of it. The fifth one is what we call apply it. You're going to think of in what ways can it be utilized. How are you going to apply it? The concept within your cubing. How are you going to apply it for real? And last is to argue for or against it. You may simply answer the question, in what ways can you support or oppose it? And of course, you need to stick with that argument. Moreover, about cubing, it is a writing exercise used as a pre-writing technique. Cubing, forcing a writer to think and rethink a topic. It allows a writer as well to explore various aspects of that topic. As we all know, just like what I have said a while ago, a cube has 6 sides. Now, if you had to describe that cube, you would try not to discuss each side of the object. Of course, you would have to change your perspective in order to examine and write about the cube's 6 faces. Just don't forget the following, let's say, distinct viewpoints. Second to the last kind of brainstorming list is what we call free writing. Here in free writing, you need to set a time limit and number of words or pages. You're just going to write. Now, do not edit it first. It allows it allows you to really work without inhibitions, without limitation. Just write everything that you can gather, you can think of. And at the same time, you just need also to turn off the editor in you and allow the writer in you free reign. So that's the significance of free writing. This is an example of what we call free writing. As you can see, what are the benefits of the following, let's say, this specific kind of brainstorming list? It helps you to really identify everything you already know about the topic by simply listing them down, the following ideas, and then it also identifies gaps in your knowledge on a topic to guide you toward areas to research. It pushes you as well toward previously unexplored aspects of your topic and leads to new questions, which you may answer during the writing composition period. And at the same time, what is very nice about free writing is that you can reduce your writing anxiety because you don't have to worry about it being correct or incomplete sentences. You're just going to really let the ideas flow from one thought to the next. And yeah, that's a collection of random thoughts that you need to do. That's why I can say that free writing is also just a great low-stakes writing practice. It will really help you to become a very nice author, a very effective and efficient writer. So that's it. Once again, this is what we call free writing. And of course, the last kind of brainstorming list is what we call researching. Here you're going to, of course, go to the library or check out some websites on the internet. You can also make a list or a map for the following new ideas. And this is appropriate more to textual people or to those who are more comfortable in processing words than visuals, because it simply requires you to write the main topic and then write them down. All the related concepts about the given focus or topic. Yeah, that's researching. And of course, as a researcher, we really need to be vigilant. We really need to take extra, what we call that, extra knowledge for us to really be equipped on what are the things that we need to include or not to include, because there's a lot of fake information, of course, around in different, let's say, websites or any articles. Yeah. That's why I told you to really be vigilant in terms of gathering information, both from books, na printed materials, and of course from the websites. The second technique in selecting and organizing information is what we call graphic organizer. Perhaps a lot of you are already familiar about the different examples of graphic organizer, which is nice because that will serve as your overview about this technique. Graphic organizer is a visual and graphic display that depicts the relationships between facts, terms, and or ideas within a learning task. It is also sometimes referred to as knowledge maps, concept maps, story maps, cognitive organizers, advanced organizers, or concept diagrams. And there are 5 kinds of graphic organizer, just like in brainstorming list there are 5. So here in graphic there are also 5 kinds of graphic organizer. And here are the following kinds of graphic organizer. We have T-chart, main idea web, sequence chart, Venn diagram, and concept map. And we will discuss them one by one for you to really familiarize about the significance, the function, and the reason why we need to really use this graphic organizer whenever we are selecting and organizing information. Okay, so here's the first kind of graphic organizer. This is what we call T-chart. It helps organize ideas into 2 columns, and later I'll be showing you the appearance of that one. And at the same time, you need with the use of this T-chart as well, you may examine 2 components of an object, concept, or events. For instance, class, T-charts can be used in any content area to examine the pros, or let's say the positive or the advantages, and cons, the negative or the disadvantages, or simply stating facts and opinions, distinguishing facts and opinions. So students can select 2 things simply by comparing certain ideas, characters, events, etc. And then the next thing that you're going to do is write them down as headings for the 2 columns, and from there, comparisons or contrasts can be made in both columns. Okay, class, so here's the example of what we call T-chart. On the left, you will see the template, and on the right, you will see the typical example of how are we going to utilize this kind of graphic organizer. That is T-chart. Next, we have what we call concept map. Here, it shows relationships between the main idea and other information. Concepts or ideas are represented in circles or boxes and are linked to related ideas with arrows. You know what, class? Most concept maps represent a hierarchical structure with most general concepts or ideas wherein it is presented at the top of the map and the more specific or sub-ideas presented below. So it's like sorted out. Another feature of a concept map is the inclusion of what we call cross-links to simply demonstrate relationships between sub-ideas in different segments of the concept map. And I'll be showing you an example of that right after this slide. So class, here's the example of what we call a concept map. Simply, we are using like shapes and lines to simply represent the following data that we gathered from, let's say, researching or any brainstorming idea list that we did. And yeah, that's how we plot the following infos with the use, of course, of this graphic representation. This is what we call concept map. And of course, we do have main idea web. This one is a bit like a modified version. We are free not to modify this kind of graphic organizer. We can use not only circles, squares, like rectangles, but we can also use or like apply some of the shapes that are existing. Here, class, in main idea web, it starts with the central idea, of course, and then you need to branch this out the following related ideas and details, otherwise known as sub-ideas or let's say subtopics. And then sometimes it is referred to as a spider or semantic maps. So here's the example of main idea web. Main idea web. As you can see, class, in the middle you will see the main idea itself. And of course, it is surrounded by the following sub-ideas or let's say subtopics that we can connect with the main idea. Okay, class, so let's proceed to the next kind of graphic organizer, which is what we call the Venn diagram. Here, class, we use typically Venn diagram whenever we compare and contrast two or more groups of things by visually displaying their, let's say, similarities and then their differences in a two or more circles that overlap. Similarities between the topics are presented where a circle from one category overlaps, which is in the middle, with a circle from another category. The differences, of course, will be placed on the separate wings of the two circles. Now, features that do not fit in both categories are placed where the two circles do not overlap. And that's it. Venn diagrams can serve to increase understanding of a relationship between two or more concepts. And I'm happy that we were able to utilize this kind of graphic organizer when you had your first collaborative task in reading and writing skills. And that's it. This is what we call Venn diagram. Here's another example of a Venn diagram. Whenever we determine the similarities and differences of two, let's say, ideas or two concepts. Like for example, the similarities and differences of mathematics and economics. So that's it. We can use Venn diagram to figure out what are their similarities and differences from one another. And last kind of graphic organizer, here's what we call sequence chart. As you can see on the picture, it simply presents a series of steps or events in order, wherein many learners need a visual aid to help clarify a sequence of events in a story or to come to conclusions about different cause and effect relationships between multiple events in a text. So this one is really applicable in English subjects, most especially not only English as well, but not only English but also in presenting series of, let's say, events when you're like studying history. Yeah, we can use this graphic organizer as well. The students can use simply this type of organizer as a flowchart to organize thoughts as a pre-writing activity or as a part of a classroom activity that makes students responsible for a portion of a classroom assignment. And not only a flowchart, but we can also compare this one to a cycle diagram, wherein it is a type also of sequential chart that is used to represent a sequence of stages, tasks, or events in a circular flow. And this kind of diagram accentuates the flow and interconnection between things rather than emphasizing the actual stages or steps. This one is not only applicable in English, history, but also in other subject areas wherein typically your goal is to really represent sequence of, let's say, stages or levels in a circular flow, or like determining its proper order or steps. That's it. Sequence chart. Now let's go down with the third technique in selecting and organizing information. This is what we call topic outline. A topic outline arranges your ideas hierarchically in the sequence you want and shows what you will talk about. It simply identifies all the little mini topics that your paper will comprise and shows how they relate. And remember as well, class, that the topic outline lists words or phrases only, ha? Because when you list typically complete sentences, we are not referring to topic outline at all. We are now talking about to sentence outline. Okay? Here's the example, class, of what we call topic outline. You may simply indicate phrase or word, no, whenever you list down the following ideas. And make sure that the following details are directly related with your main idea. And that's the topic outline. You don't need to write everything like complete sentence for that one, because when we do that, we are now referring to sentence outline, not topic outline. Of course, we're down with last technique in selecting and organizing information. This is what we call sentence outline, the direct opposite of what we call topic outline. Here, class, in sentence outline, the thing that you're going to do really is to show exactly what you will say about each mini topic. That's why it requires you to really indicate specific and complete idea. Since we're talking about specific and complete idea, you need to write or you need to list down the following details in complete sentences. That is why it is being so called sentence outline, because you need to really write or indicate the complete idea using complete sentences. In class as well, no, I just want to add as well that in outlining, you need, of course, to use Roman numerals to indicate the main idea. And then, in indicating the following, let's say, subtopics or sub-ideas, you may use letters for that one. Okay? It could be capital letters or small letters. Okay? Once again, you may use Roman numerals in indicating the main idea, and then letters, either capital or small letters, to indicate naman the following sub-ideas or subtopics. And make sure that the following details that you're going to list down, of course, are directly related with your main idea. So here, class, just like what I have said, here's the example of what we call sentence outline. You will see the great difference of it talaga with the topic outline, wherein, as you can see, it is stated in complete sentences. Since we're talking about complete idea. That's it. That's the difference of sentence outline to topic outline. Of course, there's similarity. One of the really similarities, or one of the distinguish that we can observe with topic and sentence outlines, that we use those techniques whenever we are trying to really list down or indicate specific details that we believe na we can help, we believe that it can help to really come up with a good composition. And that's the similarity, one of the big distinction between topic outline and sentence outline. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more lessons to learn. Bye!